Afternoon, everyone. It's Tiki Bunny driving on I-94. We are currently bringing a rocking chair to Grandma's house and helping her move some boxes around. But driving on the highway like this kind of leads me to want to talk about the phases of JDM ownership. Because let me tell you, when you get one of these things here, it is nothing but joy. And then you realize that you have to drive it places. And things could happen. So, how do you deal with that? And really, how do you go from that ecstatic joy of getting a car here in phase 1 to phase 3, which is just enjoying it? Well, you have to get through phase 2, terror. So, let's talk about the phase of JDM ownership and talk about coping mechanisms, how to get over it, and whether or not you're just too worried. Good afternoon, Tiki fam. We are chilling out in the back of the Acti waiting on a delivery, and the skies are overcast, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to sit in the back of your JDM van and enjoy the features. But this continues the conversation that I was having regarding the phases of JDM ownership. Phase 1, enthusiasm, excitement, exhilaration. And right now we're going to start seeing some of that because when this Honda Acti arrives, there's going to be exhilaration. Now, in this case, this isn't actually one of mine. This car belongs to Mendy Imports. It's heading up to the Green Bay area. Unfortunately enough, the carrier would not bring it any further than Milwaukee. So I'll help step in and say, you know what, drop it off here. You can come pick it up anytime because I like helping the JDM community and everything that it does. But as this thing arrives, that enthusiasm stage happens anew, because when you think about it, you've waited months for these things to arrive here. You've found a vehicle in Japan, or you've purchased a vehicle from an importer and it's sitting in Japan. You get to watch the new photos, some of the videos. If we're out there, if your exporter provides them, that's fantastic. It's just excitement building up. When it gets on a boat, you know what boat it is. You get to track that on marine traffic. You get to watch that boat cross the Pacific with your car in it. You get to watch live cams of it crossing through the Panama Canal, coming through the Caribbean and up to a port on the East Coast, or skipping the Panama Canal going on the West Coast. Doesn't matter. Wherever you live, we've got a port for you. When it gets there, we're gonna have it cleared through port. We're going to get all your paperwork sorted out, squared away. If you're local and want to pick it up, you can pick it up. If you're not local and want to pick it up, you can pick it up. If it's all tuned up and ready to go, or you're mechanically inclined, we can absolutely make that happen for you. But most of our rides are going to get picked up from port by a carrier. I use a carrier called Mercury Auto Transport out of Florida. They're fantastic. I've used them for almost 4 dozen cars at this point in time. It's always been professional. I tried one other carrier one time, didn't work out. Mercury Auto is going to be bringing this Honda Acti right here today. And this is going to be the culmination, the zenith of the, most important phase of JDM ownership, which is excitement, exhilaration, joy. And hopefully in just a couple of minutes here, we're going to see this thing roll up so that we can experience it all together. And just like that, the Honda Acti is here. I don't know about you guys, but I am thrilled because it's a truck. It's a tiny truck. I know it's not mine, but I'm still excited by it. I mean, it's not every day that I get to have K-trucks on my property. I mean, yes, I've got one in the garage, fine. But again, this is a brand new K-truck to us here in the States. I'm going to explore it. I'm going to look around. You can see that KD in there. That's Kadil page. And all right, I'm thrilled. Let's get this off the truck. All right, we're going to check the spacing on the ramps. It looks good. You're good. all right, it's here. And we're gonna rinse it up and get it clean, because one of the first things you're gonna wanna do with a JDM vehicle after it arrives is get it clean, because it's got years worth of JDM dirt and dust on it. And as my son sprays me with water, we're gonna work on this real quick. Get all the bugs off the windshield, because let me show you how nasty these things really are. Yeah, one of the grossest things is bringing any car in the summer, because the whole front of it is just encrusted with dead bugs. So even though this isn't my car, even though there is no dollars invested in this for Tiki Money Imports, this is still a service. Like when Mindy Imports calls me and says, hey, I need you to handle a truck, I will handle a truck, and I'm gonna make it shine. So there's a couple of ways of dealing with all this grease paint. The first is just to scrape it very gently, the edge of a razor blade, just to kind of get some of that stuff off. And it's really easy to get from there once you just spray it off. The other way is a little bit easier, is to hit it with some of this. Let it do its thing for a second, take your microfiber towel, and just give it a little wipe. And it all comes off real easy. Boom. Not perfect, but you know what? I'll give it a little bit more of a scrub off camera, and we'll get this whole thing done up. Teaching them early. Mmm. Tasty bug soup. Yummy. I mean, just a little bit of soap up here and a nice wet microfiber cloth makes a huge difference. Get this JDM dirt out from every little nook and cranny. I really hope that the camera actually picks up just how much dirt that even a simple soap and rinse and a gentle little scrub with a microfiber towel actually does in these, because my goodness, they are so dirty from months of being at port. All right, not bad. The black plastic looks pretty good when it's wet, but when it's dry, it's pretty gray. So we're gonna hit it with some of this stuff. This stuff works really well on old plastic. So hopefully after it dries out, you guys will see the difference. I wasn't gonna touch the inside, but the dash is a bit dusty. So let's bust out some of this stuff. This works pretty well at cleaning everything up, polishing it, making it look good. Look, I'm not teggy, okay? I'm not teggy. I'm very wet, in fact, from all the rain, because we went ahead and we cleaned this thing up even though it was pouring rain. I'm not teggy. But you know what? I'm gonna do the best I can with the tools I have, and just try to get things that are as generic as possible to do the most amount of jobs with the least amount of sprays. So there we go. There, that's better. A little bit shinier, a little bit cleaner. Steering wheels got some of that luster back. But yeah, it's fun. And despite the fact that I look like a drowned rabbit, this is a huge part of stage one of the exhilarating feeling of getting your JDM car. Because if you're like me, the first thing you want to do when you get this thing in is clean it and make it yours. Because up until this point, it's been someone else's. It's been someone else's in Japan, somebody else is controlling it on the boat. They're the ones bringing it here. Maybe your importer controls it. Maybe it's on a lot somewhere. But once you get it, you just want to clean it and start making it yours. Put your junk in there, your dirt in there. And I think it's one of those steps where you're just taking all the joy and all the excitement of actually having it and then putting it into the truck or the car or the van. Because from here, you're going to want to do mechanical things to it. You're going to want to swap out the steering wheel or change your oil or put in new plugs and wires if it hasn't been done already. Maybe new wheels and tires, because that's the next part of phase one, exhilaration and joy, is customization. Is it making it yours and making it just uniquely yours. I think that's what's the most important part. And I've said it before in the past, just individuality means so much to so many of us, especially in the JDM world, making this vehicle, you know, transferring the ownership of this vehicle to whoever it had in Japan to you. And I think that's just a critically important bit. All right, prepped and ready. Looks pretty good. But yeah, so we've got our truck. It's been delivered. We've waited months to get it here. Not me personally, but you know, for the purposes of this example, we're gonna pretend that. We've waited months to get here, and now it's here, and it's clean, and it's great. And you know, let's say we've got a plate on it too. Much better, because that's another part of the exhilaration, and one of the parts that's gonna start transitioning you into phase 2. So phase 1 is exhilaration. Phase 2 is fear, terror, because now you own it. And now you've got to take care of it. And this is such a huge leap for so many people because, oh heck, now I've got to figure out the DMV. I've got to figure out my title and my registration. I've got to figure out insurance. What if somebody hits it? What if something breaks? What if a maintenance item pops up that I don't know how to deal with? These are all very legitimate and very important concerns in JDM ownership, because this right here is at minimum a 25-year-old vehicle, and a lot of these from the mid-90s, you're looking at 30 plus. There's a lot of time between when that vehicle was new and when it is here in your house, in your yard, in your driveway, in your parking space. That's a lot of time. And even if you've gotten the thing fully tuned up in Japan, like our Naked or our Try, things can still go wrong. Rubber breaks down, gaskets fail, accidents happen, and especially when you're the crumple zone, you can be rightfully nervous. And it's so easy to fall into fear, because this is the transitionary step. This is when exhilaration dies off and all that adrenaline has finally left you, whether it's a couple of days, even a couple of hours, a couple of weeks between getting the vehicle and starting to really use it. That's a lot to take in. And once that adrenaline crashes, you've got to actually start strategizing about this. You've got to start thinking about how my maintenance is going to work, where it's going to come from. And if you haven't considered this beforehand, it can be really daunting. Like, have you considered insurance? Have you considered, taxes where you live? There's a lot. And ultimately, not everyone's prepared for that, which is why I want to talk to you about it right now, because heck, driving a JDM vehicle in America is kind of scary at first, because you're on the quote-unquote wrong side. You could be slow, like in this K-Truck. Insurance could be expensive. And what I've seen a lot of the times is that people get afraid and they don't want to drive their cars. They don't want to use their cars. They have them, they might polish them up, they might bring them to a Cars and Coffee, but driving them daily or putting them to the intended use can be a pretty big gap to bridge. So let's take a pause. We'll leave the truck because it's looking great, and start talking about things like insurance. Because first and foremost, you're probably going to need insurance on these things. Now, if you're lucky enough to have access to USAA, please use them. Please contact them. Chances are, if you already have them, you know full well how good they are and what they can do for you on your normal car, let alone your JDM things, because it'll take a phone call and some information about the vehicle, but they'll happily put it on your policy. So if you don't have an insurer like USAA that won't do it, like a lot of the big brand insurance companies just won't do it, and that's fine, because you can always reach out to Hagerty. Hagerty is probably your next best bet. I've had quite a few folks reach out to them with great success. But the issue is that you're gonna have to call them, and you might have to call them multiple times, because not every single person there is gonna know how to handle a JDM vehicle, and that's fine. But if you open up a policy with Hagerty, chances are they're gonna be your best bet. Their prices are fair, they're knowledgeable about what they're doing for the most part, and I would highly recommend that in the event that your major insurance company doesn't know what to do. And a word on registration. Not every state in the United States handles registration on JDM vehicles. In fact, some of them straight up won't do it. a lot of the states, like here in Wisconsin, will do it under collector's plates, which is great because it's pretty much hassle-free. But you have to have a collector's plate, which comes with restrictions. In the state of Wisconsin, you can't operate that vehicle in the month of January, and you can't haul things with it to a certain weight. And if you're looking to daily drive a K-Van, that's a problem. So what I'd always recommend doing before you buy a JDM vehicle, or even when one is on the way, is check with your local state regs, post to Reddit, send your importer a question, whether that's me or somebody else, about how to register that vehicle in your state. Because I've registered vehicles in 16 states at this point in time, or had vehicles registered in 16 states. And every single one of them is a bit different. In Colorado, you need to get a new VIN. In North Carolina, they need to send out an officer of the DMV to inspect the vehicle before they give you your plates. So there's a lot to consider and think about. In California, you might have to wait for months to get the vehicle smogged. So always, always, always do your homework first and foremost, because it's going to help you get through stage 2 faster. Because if you have insurance on the vehicle, you have a legal plate and title on the vehicle, then the rest starts to click into place. Good morning, Tiki fam. We're back with the Acti, and adding some swag up front. But I had the air freshener in here overnight. Still kind of smells like Japan a little bit, so we're gonna hit it with some Febreze just to hopefully make this thing a little bit more palatable when its new owner picks it up. And here we are. The Acti's Chariot. Back to the Green Bay area. All right. First impressions.
It's been waiting for it. It's cool.
How long have you been waiting for it?
I think 3 months since March.
Nice.
Something like that.
Yep.
Or when you guys were in Japan.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like gosh, March, April, May, June, July, 5 months at this point.
Oh, 5 months. Time flies, but I'm glad to see it now. It looks great. Excited for it.
And just like that, we're leaving Tiki HQ, loading it up, heading up north. And just like that, on the way. All right, so we say goodbye to the Acti here overnight. Always glad to hotel a couple of K trucks. So that was his first time ever driving a right-hand drive truck, and seems like he did pretty good. So really happy to see that one off to its forever home, and you know, just enjoy the exhilaration of stage 1 for a little bit. Now that you've got insurance, now that you've got plates, now that you've got your title, now that you are comfortable enough in driving your JDM vehicle, how do you get over phase 2 so that you can get into phase 3, which is just enjoyment? Well, the answer is pretty much just drive it. Enjoy it. Treat it cautiously for a little bit. Treat it like there's a break-in period on a brand new performance car, where you know that if you run it a little too hard that things are going to break, or you know, things could go wrong that would need a mechanic to look over. And I think ultimately that's my best advice, is just treat the old JDM vehicles that you've got like a new sports car. Just relax, you know, shift slowly, treat it cautiously, and just enjoy it. You know, don't take it over 55 miles an hour for a little bit. You know, don't take it off-roading just yet. Just let the new fluids, you know, settle in. Let the rubber, you know, tell you if it's going to be leaking or not. Let problems show up naturally, because sometimes these things do have problems that aren't obvious, and the only way to really understand what they are is just to drive it. They'll show up. Don't worry about it. If they do show up, you can fix most things. Most of the stuff that's out there, you will be able to fix or have somebody fix. Like that's pretty much not a concern. It is certainly troublesome And it is annoying, and it's something that, you know, folks can be afraid of. And I don't blame them, because you've just spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort getting the vehicle here. You want it for as long as you can possibly have it. But after that is done, and after that break-in period, literally 50 to 100 miles of just driving is plenty to tell you, you know, what the vehicle can and can't do. You know, can it do 65 miles an hour? This van can. It's not happy about it, but it will. No other problems that showed up. You know, the temperature was holding steady. There's nothing leaking. The oil is in there. There's pressure on everything. Tires are all filled up. Just do your diligence. Check your oil, check your fluids, make sure your tires are inflated. You know, keep an eye on the temperature. Use your senses. You know, is there a bad smell? Don't be afraid to just look it over. Don't be afraid to take it to a mechanic and just say, like, hey, can you look this over for me? Because I just want to make sure everything's great. That's the best way to get over the fear bump, is just to enjoy it. And then once you get that confidence, and you will get that confidence if you are actively driving these things, I promise you that. After you cross over that 50 to 100 mile of driving, you know, distance in your new vehicle, you're going to start to become comfortable with it. And that's phase 3, being comfortable. So from here, drive it. Just enjoy it. Bring it to shows. If you have never been to a Cars and Coffee before, if you don't know what your local car scene looks like, do a quick search. Check out, you know, the various pages that these guys offer. Just search Cars and Coffee in my city, and I promise you that something is going to pop up at some point in time. And it's one thing to just enjoy it and drive it daily, and I'm not going to say that, you know, not going to shows is a terrible idea. But it's wonderful to start, you know, building that community, because a wonderful part of JDM cars is that they're unexpected. You know, your local car scene might be nothing but Corvettes and Mustangs. It might be old American muscle. Heck, it might be a bunch of Radwood stuff. But whatever it is, chances are JDM probably isn't hugely represented. So, and even if it is, heck, add to it. You know, get more connections with your JDM folks out there, because that's one of the pillars of the Tiki Bunny, you know, business, is community. You know, the others are obviously joy and integrity, but without community, it really is just a vehicle. You're just driving it around and having fun with it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, adding community to it really just puts an entirely new level on the entirety of having a crazy JDM car. So those are the 3 steps of JDM ownership, and really, I think phase 3 is definitely the most important, because it's the one that makes you sit back, drive, enjoy, build a community, and just have fun with it. And ultimately, that's what it's all about. Regardless if it's a daily, if it's a weekend show car, heck, if it's a garage queen, just do your best to get out there and have fun with it. But for now, I've got to get the kiddo to karate, so I'm going to enjoy the heck out of my awesome JDM van and all of the wonderful looks and smiles and stares that I get the entire way, because it's not just about bringing joy to me, it's about bringing joy to other people too. So there we are. Thanks everyone for sticking with me on this little video essay on JDM cars and just having fun with them, and just understanding that you're not alone when you feel worried or anxious or nervous about having these things. It's perfectly okay, but you got to get to the other side. And if you follow the steps in here, I think you're going to have a wonderful time with it. But thanks again. Thanks for being out there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll catch you on the next one. And hopefully we'll continue to bring you really cool JDM car content. And announcement, if you haven't seen it already, we are heading back to Japan. That's right. At the end of August, we're going to start prepping. And in early September, we're going to head over there. We're going to do more auctions. We're going to do more car spotting, do more up garage searching, and then it's all going to culminate at the Initial D 30th anniversary celebration out at the Fuji Speedway. So stay tuned. There's lots ahead.